Tonight on Newswatch 12 at 11, a new tool to bring more awareness to dangerous wildfire, thanks to the National Weather Service.
Those conditions mean that if one does start, it will grow very rapidly and could become life-threatening.
The upgraded red flag warning that will help get you prepared.
It'll be a chilly and frosty start to our Thursday morning, but mostly sunny skies, a bit warmer temperatures tomorrow. Tracking the next storm system, though, as we wrap up the work week. I'll have the details on the shower potential for Southern Oregon and Northern California coming up.
Plus, the celebrations are starting for Memorial Day weekend, the largest event in Grants Pass, getting ready for a comeback this year. So much so that you might not even recognize the park that it's at.
It's completely different. If you came here not at Boatneck, you almost wouldn't recognize it. They're so busy now to when it's not here.
We'll share the best ways to see those boats fly coming up on Newswatch 12 at 11, which starts right now.
Watching out for you. This is Newswatch 12 at 11.
We're following up on what the voters decided in this year's primary election and the fate of the ballot measures for the Jackson County Commissioners. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Haley Gravitt. Let's get into the latest votes as clerks' offices continue to count the votes for us. Oregon's primary elections are in the books tonight. We've been tracking the races for you with a hot topic ballot measure up for discussion today involving the Jackson County Commissioners. With 3 separate measures to change the current system, one ballot measure would change the number of commissioners from 3 to 5. Another would look to decrease the pay of each commissioner, and the last ballot measure would look to make the position bipartisan. But we know the projected fate of those ballots. Measure 15226 is the only one that's favorable among voters right now. But if Measure 15225 does not pass, neither will 15226. Denise Krause, the woman spearheading those ballots, believes that this would bring more representation to people in Jackson County, and registered Democrats saw on their ballots that Krause is also running for the open commissioner position.
The Republican candidates have all said that they would take the $75,000 if passed by the voters, but that doesn't happen until 2027. So I'm going to challenge them to say, will you do it on day one? Because somebody needs to set the example to do this the way it should be done. So I'm willing to do that.
Krause's general election opponent is Republican and Medford's current mayor, Randy Sparacino. He says he'll focus on his campaign instead of his opponent, but he did think the spotlight that Krause put on county government helped voter involvement.
Typically in primaries and in the general election, the top of the ballot gets all the attention, and to have something that brings attention to the other candidates that are just as important, because all politics are local, it's good to do that.
He says the voters voting no on the county measures yesterday shows most voters are in support of county commissioners and the direction of Jackson County. And we're coming up on the 1st of June, which is normally when some fire agencies would declare wildfire season. Oregon agencies expecting another severe wildfire season as the drought persists. And another issue could cause for a harsh season, that is the shortage of wildland firefighters. Now, according to the U.S. Forest Service, back in April, there were over 8,500 wildland firefighters on board for the upcoming season. Although this is an uptick compared to the past couple of years, the Forest Service is still only around 75% of their hiring goal. And we wanted to hear from ODF Southwest to see how this shortage is impacting our local firefighting force. Despite the firefighter shortage on a national scale, ODF Southwest has been able to fill most, if not all, positions over the past couple of years. Even if more positions were needed here locally, that's out of the control of ODF Southwest.
We have a set amount of positions, and those are granted by the legislature, so it's not something that we can change. We can be strategic with where we place those people, whether it's a dozer operator or a firefighter, forest officer, things like that.
Although ODF Southwest has been able to manage, Natalie mentioned systemic issues that make people weary of becoming firefighters. There's the life-threatening aspect of it, along with the long hours and long distance from friends and family, and of course, the pay. And the National Weather Service has given Southern Oregon another tool to help with fire season, introducing the ability to issue a particularly dangerous situation red flag warning for this fire season. This will be issued by the National Weather Service for extreme fire conditions, such as a combination of extremely gusty winds, very low humidity, and very dangerous dry vegetation. Conditions that only happen around every 5 years or so. Lead meteorologist with the Medford National Weather Service office says the 2020 wildfires were what prompted the need of having a better way of communicating those extreme conditions, like what we saw on that day.
After 2020, I read a lot of Facebook comments and social media about how confused and the fear in people of not knowing what was happening. My goal for this, as well as all of our wildfire awareness materials, is to give people the ability to take action and not have to necessarily wait, but understand that these conditions are a part of our lives, and here's what we can do to make sure we're ready for when this happens. No one wants to have another Alameda or open chain fire again, but in case they do happen, we want people to be ready for next time.
And the National Weather Service in Reno was the first to adopt the PDS red flag warning, and the hope is for the product to be adopted all across the West in the future. Now let's check in with Storm Watch 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman to give us a look at our conditions, but also want to talk to you about the weather special. A lot of great stories shown today.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, and if anybody missed it, no fear. We have it online. Take a look. Head to KDRV.com. You can watch the whole thing, the whole Storm Watch 12 summer forecast up online right now on KDRV.com. Now let's talk about tonight. Temperatures are tumbling out there. It's 51 already in Medford, 40 degrees in Klamath Falls, upper 40s in Brookings in Wairika. Skies are mainly clear. Winds have diminished quite a bit, and it's going to be a chilly one tonight, down to 37 in Grants Pass, 27 degrees in Klamath Falls, and expecting some frosty conditions in our west side valleys. Best chances for frost with this frost advisory for the west side of Southern Oregon, mainly the Illinois and Applegate valleys, but also more rural parts of the Rogue Valley. We'll see that threat for frost, but tomorrow in the afternoon, mostly sunny skies and some warmer temperatures for Thursday and the first day of Boatnik. We'll take a look at the forecast for Boatnik through the weekend and the rest of your Memorial Day weekend forecast for the region. That's all coming up. Haley.
Matt, thank you. And speaking of Boatnik, it's almost time that we watch the fast-moving boats take on the Rogue River, going over 100 miles per hour. They might be hard to see, but they certainly won't be hard to miss. And Newswatch 12's Rocky Walker was at Riverside Park today in Grants Pass with more on the preparations that are taking place by the organizers and law enforcement for Boatnik.
Boatnik is making its 65th annual return tomorrow, starting with a family day and carnival, but the weekend is meant to bring up much more. From a festival to fireworks shows and boat races and displays, with large amounts of people and activities, local law enforcement understands there also needs to be a large police presence.
There is a lot down here, and it changes because they're in and out of the park taking care of different things, but there's a lot here.
The Grants Pass Police Department started by clearing out and cleaning up Riverside Park about a week ago. Then during the events, Grants Pass Police as well as private security will be patrolling the park. While on the water, the Sheriff's Office will be alongside the boaters, making sure to provide aid if needed and keep would-be swimmers and private boaters out of the water. So if you were thinking of going on the Rogue River in Grants Pass this weekend, you may want to think again. In Grants Pass, Rocky Walker, Newswatch 12.
Can kind of go back to the way things were a couple years ago with regards to drug dealing.
The Jackson County Sheriff's Office is breaking down key issues for Southern Oregon on their podcast Status Check. This episode talks about the effects of recriminalizing Measure 110, otherwise known as the drug control measure that reduces the punishment for possessing small amount of drugs. Last month, Governor Tina Kotek signed House Bill 4002, which will recriminalize those drug possessions. Police can now either put someone in a county deflection program or send them to jail. In talks with the district attorney's office and the Jackson County Director of Community Justice, Sheriff Sickler says the bill is a good start.
Even if that had a little more teeth, we would have been doing nothing until probably another year and 4 or 5 months.
And several parts of the bill went into effect under an emergency clause. Those who are first caught with controlled substances will be put on a 18-month probation, or if they get caught possessing drugs again, they will go to jail if they don't go into a rehabilitation program. Coming up next, today is Crater Lake's birthday. To celebrate, the lodge and dining area has opened for the upcoming season. We'll show it to you under their new management. Up next. Now let's take a live look out at Ashland tonight, brought to you by the Oregon Shakespeare Festival.
Watching out for you. This is Newswatch 12 at 11.
Crater Lake is adding one more candle to its birthday cake today. The national park is celebrating its 122nd birthday, making Oregon's only national park the 5th oldest in the country. And to commemorate this, Crater Lake Lodge and Dining just opened for the new season. People across the country are coming to Crater Lake for the new season. People from New Jersey and Florida visiting today, along with many others to take in the beautiful views. With the new management of the concessionaire Explore Us, they are aiming to have high quality customer service, but things are still falling into place as this partnership came together just in April, but everyone seems ready for the 2024 season. Now let's check back in with Storm Watch 12. Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman for a look at our conditions. Pretty quiet week so far, but a little chillier temperatures today.
Yeah, especially up at Crater Lake today, but tomorrow should be a little bit milder. Let's take a look at high temperatures today. Everybody across the board seeing cooler temperatures, 59 in Brookings. We squeaked in a 70 in Medford and Montague, but look at Klamath Falls, only 59 degrees for a high today. Temperatures are tumbling tonight with this cooler air mass in place. Look at Chemult, 29 degrees for you folks right now. It's 34 in Christmas Valley, 40 in Klamath Falls, and we're barely holding on to 50 in Grants Pass and Medford, upper 40s down I-5 into Siskiyou County. For Montague and Mount Shasta, we have mainly clear conditions. Winds have diminished, and you can see how cool the air mass is. Look at the snow coming down for parts of Montana and Idaho. So tomorrow will be a little bit warmer. We're going to see bright skies after a cold and frosty start. Temperatures rebound, but the next storm system on the way, and this one is trending wetter. Does look like we will see a little bit more widespread shower activity for Friday and some of that lingering into Saturday. Not expecting significant precipitation, but there will be some locally heavier downpours and maybe some isolated thunderstorms, especially east of the Cascades on Friday. Tonight, in the meantime, skies will be clear down to 27 in Klamath Falls, 36 in Mount Shasta. We'll drop to 37 in Grants Pass. Watch out for frost in our west side valleys. Not so much in Medford, but rural areas of Jackson County will definitely see some frosty conditions. Heading to the Rogue Valley Growers Market at Hawthorne Park tomorrow in Medford. A cool morning at the market, but all in all, mostly sunny, and by 1 o'clock, temperatures in the mid 60s. So feeling nice as we head into the afternoon. We rebound up into the 70s throughout our west side valley, 76 in Medford, up to 67 in Klamath Falls and 63 in Brookings. Winds will be pretty breezy tomorrow along the coast, but not as gusty for inland areas today. We've had some pretty strong gusts for spots today, especially into Lake County. So here's a look at Stormcast going through the day tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies, a beautiful Thursday on tap. Looks great for the first day of Boatnick, but clouds increase for Friday, and notice some rain, mountain snow showers into Friday morning, and a little bit more widespread activity for southern Oregon and northern California. Doesn't look like a washout anywhere, but definitely don't be surprised if you have some raindrops falling as we go through the day Friday at times, and some of that could linger into the first part of Saturday, especially in southern Oregon. Friday evening, the fireworks for Boatnick at dusk, partly cloudy, a stray shower possible, but more than likely it's going to be dry, right around 60 degrees. And then looking at that Boatnick forecast, slight chances for showers Friday and Saturday, cooler temperatures, but look at that warm up Sunday into Monday. highs in the 80s on Monday for Memorial Day. The Azalea Festival going on in Brookings into this weekend, and the forecast not too bad. We'll have a slight chance of a shower on Friday, some gustier conditions into Saturday, but lots of sunshine on Sunday with those highs in the 60s. And then Memorial Day across the region, all in all, some warmer temperatures expected for Southern Oregon. It's looking pretty nice for any outdoor plans on Memorial Day, and for all the observances going on in the morning should be really nice for that as well. So 7-day forecast for the coast, slight chances for showers on Friday, but otherwise the rest of the holiday weekend looking pretty quiet with brighter skies. Northern California temperatures trending up through the holiday weekend, slight chances for showers and storms Friday, and then again on Tuesday. The Klamath Basin temperatures stuck in the 60s the next few days for highs, but we do warm up by Memorial Day, highs pushing 80. Best chances for rain and even mountain snow showers will be up in the mountains on Friday and Saturday. Those snow levels will be rather high though. And then for the Rogue Valley, we'll see those slight chances for showers Friday and Saturday, but look at that warm up by Memorial Day. Sunny skies and highs well up into the 80s.
If you're heading out of town over the next few days, make sure you pack your patience. The stunning statistic for Labor Day travel, that's coming up next. Now let's take a live look out at talent. This view brought to you by the Camelot Theater. Watching out for you, this is News Watch 12 at 11. In Health Watch tonight, the SNAP program took focus at a House hearing today. Karen Kaifa is in Washington with the full story.
Is happening around what is known as the Farm Bill. This measure, which is passed roughly every 5 years, typically has seen a lot of bipartisan common ground between the two parties because it's so important to the nation's food supply, to the nation's farmers, and to nutrition programs. But this round could create a showdown over benefits that are crucial to millions of American families. Members of a House subcommittee Wednesday with different takes on the direction of the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. Republican Andy Harris of Maryland eyeing pilot programs that would implement dietary restrictions for recipients.
The SNAP program is solely focused on providing calories rather than nutritious food.
Democrats arguing benefits need to support food costs.
Though it tells poor people what to eat, it does little to address the underlying challenges that we face in fighting hunger.
The hearing as House Republicans look to move on their draft of the $1.5 trillion farm bill, which helps fund federal food and agriculture programs. The SNAP program shaping up as a hot topic in the bill's negotiations. The GOP bill would change the formula by which benefits are determined, a move Democrats have blasted as amounting to a $30 billion cut. The left-leaning research group, the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, said GOP provisions open the door to policing of SNAP recipients' purchases. But proponents of pilots for possible standards for SNAP purchases argue they can improve overall health.
Using SNAP to improve diet quality is a small part of what should be a broader policy approach.
Meanwhile, a new analysis by the think tank the Urban Institute found SNAP benefits failed to cover the rising costs of moderately priced meals in at least 98% of U.S. counties during 2023. And with the debates over nutrition programs and likely climate provisions, the clock is ticking for lawmakers. Congress has until September 30th to come to an election year compromise on the Farm Bill or pass an extension. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
It was a busy day in sports for Southern Oregon, from softball and baseball highlights to college signings. We have a lot to cover coming up next in sports.
Now let's take a live look out at Medford. Watching out for you, this is News Watch 12.
Sports Desk, News Watch 12 Sports with Peyton Manning.
It was a big day at Crater High School Wednesday afternoon. With graduation right around the corner, 3 Comets decided to go public with their college announcement. 3 track and field teammates, Caleb Doddington, Caleb Barcelou, and Jack Sandlin, all signed their letters of intent together, and the best part is they aren't saying goodbye to each other. The 3 Comets are continuing their academic and athletic careers together at George Fox University. The future Bruins expressed their happiness to be able to run together at the next level.
Nothing that I would choose to define high school for me more than running, and just getting to run with these boys especially, and getting to continue on running with them. It's just the kind of relationships that you don't want to forget to know I have two guys that I've known for most of my life and that I'm super good friends with. It just makes everything feel so much more comfortable and so much more relieving, I guess, and just really excited.
I've played basketball with these boys before I even started running. I've been close to these guys for pretty much as long as I can remember. So I know that if anyone's going to pull me through it, it's going to be them.
Another day of high school softball and baseball playoffs came and went. Cascade Christian Baseball starting us off with highlights at Lithia and Driveway Fields. 11 Valley Catholic taking on 6-seed Challengers. We start top 3. Valiants lead 1-0. Runner on second. Elliot Bellefeld puts one through the gap. Valley Catholic extends 2-0 now. But the Challengers have an answer in the bottom of the inning. Runners on first and third. Jack Nips puts a blooper over the first baseman. Challengers starting to chip away. A little later, a wild pitch will score Ashton Moody, and the Challengers tie it up heading into the fourth. But after 10 innings, the Valiants found a way, the final 10-8. Cascade Christian Softball up now. 6-seed Harrisburg hosting 11-seed Challengers in the second round. Fast start for Kaya Taylor on the bump. First 3 batters go down on strikes. But a nice infield play from the Challengers right here. Ball hit to short. The throw to first is in time. Kylie Resides thrown out. But the floodgates eventually open for Harrisburg. Sierra Clark sneaks one past short, and that's enough to score the first run. Harrisburg cruises to win the final 9-1. 6A softball, a battle of Southwest Conference rivals South Medford and Sheldon. A good old-fashioned pitcher's duel. Bottom first, Nicole Ledendecker fans Peyton Burham. Lights out. No action until bottom 3. Kara Jeeb line drive single down the line. Heads to the corner. Jeeb hesitates, then lands on second with a double. Moments later, Savannah McKibben perfectly placed bunt allows the Irish to get on the board, and the Irish would go on to win it the final 4-0. The NAIA Softball World Series has arrived. The Southern Oregon Raiders are back to defend their title, and the first team in their way is the Jessup Warriors. I got a chance to speak with head coach Jessica Pistole ahead of their matchup with the Warriors. Coach says her team has switched it into a new gear.
We've been on a mission as a group of 23 players and 4 coaches to just become as good as we can possibly become as a group. And I think we tapped into another gear in Indiana and tapped into another just a space of calm confidence kind of starting in the conference tournament. And that's just grown. So
the Oregon Tech Lady Owls are also back this year and starting their journey to the Red Banner against Cumberlands, a team they know quite well and have prepared for. But head coach Greg Stewart says they aren't focusing on other teams so much this year. The Lady Owls are focusing on playing their game and winning the day.
I think when you get to this scenario, there's no doubt that scouting reports and having tendencies on a team or on a pitcher, all that matters. But what we're going to do is focus a little bit more on just knowing what we do good, and what we do good and what has led to our success. We're not going to get so caught up in the other team and not.
Thank you all for joining us for News Watch 12 at 11. Our next newscast coming up tomorrow at 5 a.m. We hope you join us then. Have a great night.